Are we up? Are we up? Testing 1, 2, 3. Good morning, good morning. Up on the 3rd floor. The first 2 floors are flooded out. Joke. One day. One day, one day, one day. Paper is out. Thank you. I mean, I can't mistake it. I'm standing right next to the refrigerator. Yes, the paper is out. We're paper pressing this morning, calendaring this morning for the gift print. Test printing is, quote, done, unquote. And as of an hour or so from now, 2 hours from now, I become a printer. Today's a national holiday here in Japan. And we've got extra staff in. Because a lot of them are embarrassed because they ran away here last week and the typhoon was on, leaving me all by myself to do that. They've been volunteering. Oh, I can work today, I can work today. Thanks. So there's 3 full veterans downstairs, so they're going to do the parties, which leaves me, free to get printing at last on the gift print. We're going to double calendar. What I've done is this. The paper is cut. I cut it a week ago or whatever, whenever we were talking about that. I cut it and I calendared it here dry before I made the paper wet. And I've used quite a heavy pressure. But after looking at all the test printing, look at the test print. I want to show you the other day. We'll look at it again at the end of the stream here. Looking at the end of the stream, it's still showing a bit too much on our. Because we're not printing a color on the skin tone here, it's showing a bit too much on a bubble. So we're going to calendar it again after the paper is moist. And that means I've got to be careful today. The paper is moistened, it's in the pack behind me. I'm going to pull it out 4 sheets at a time, put it in here, and run it through the press again with a more delicate pressure than I did the first time through. That should maybe do it. And the way we do this, it's a standard etching press. This is the, what's it called? Dick Blick Econo Etch Model 2. We bought it from Brazil. They have the things made for them in Brazil. And what we've got is, we have, the bed itself is metal, but we don't work directly on the metal. We use sheets of, just these clear files. We've got a sheet taped to the bottom of the press here. I'm going to put another one on top. And the paper goes between those two and gets smoothly calendared. Anyway, so here, this is the out stack. Moistened newspaper, waiting to receive the prints. And behind me, I don't have room to put everything on camera, but behind me, oops, wrong dog. Over here, we have the in-stock. It's moistened paper. It's already been calendared once and it's been moistened. I'm going to bring it out of here a group at a time. I've got 150 sheets here. They're in groups of 30, 5 different groups of 30. And keep the camera over here, of course. This is where the action is going to happen. And 4 sheets at a time. This is moist stuff, and we don't want to expose it to the air too much. It'll dry, of course. I think what I'll do is I'll leave that in there each time. Let's try this. Look out my best placing here. I better leave this in here so we're not fiddling with the position each time.
Okay, there we go. I think it's a little too light. Yeah, too light. So crank up.
And I need a tool. I should have brought my Kenton. Hang on a sec.
Bit too much pressure still on the edge. I think we're okay. You're looking good. Look good. Too much pressure.
Okay, look at it. I think we got settings here. Sorry for futzing around a bit too much here. We got to get this thing right. Too much pressure is no good. Not enough is no good. I think we've got it about right. Okay, serve electric communication. Here we go. Yeah, it's a remake. It's a remake. Is that the good expression for it? Here's the test spring. I'm not going to show you too close up because the girls would not be really happy. This is not a good. It's a remake of the chrysanthemum sprint. We're not going to call this the scent of chrysanthemums in the catalogue to keep the names different. We're going to call it just chrysanthemums. And this is not the finished print. The colours are still not right yet. You get the idea. The hair is still not black enough at the top. You can't see enough of the custody in the hair. It's just a rough test. The girls got it set up for me. And I will now be starting printing later this morning. Questions. So it's not going to be really interesting today. I've just got to do this. There's 150 sheets in the stack. I'm doing it 4 at a time. It was either have you here watching this or cancel the stream today. I'm sorry, it was one or the other. So I just thought I'd run it anyway, of course. You know. It's all beautiful now. It's perfectly flat, smooth, soft, ready to go. It just doesn't get any better than this. But delicate, hontoni delicate. It'd be crazy to do stuff like this. Absolutely crazy. streets flooded. No, we're totally okay this time around. We're totally okay here in Asakusa. We are in a very low-lying area. We're in the same kind of area that you've seen that has been flooded the last couple of days. Areas that are built on low land behind embankments, and that's exactly where we are here. We're in one of the first places in Japan that was built such a way. This used to be swamp. They built embankments along the river, and we're behind that. So yeah, we've seen on the news today exactly what can happen here. I mean, in an ideal world, nobody would ever build houses in such a place, of course, or businesses or cities, whatever. But here it is, and here we are. So those news reports we've seen, that's me in the future, that's us at some point. As I said, it's 150 sheets in 5 batches, so it doesn't quite work 4 by 4 by 4, but it doesn't matter, whatever. As far as the Ome house, I don't know, I haven't seen it yet. No idea, the staff will be checking in there tomorrow. Today's a national holiday here in Japan. There's no shipping possible today, post office is still closed. So our Ome ladies are not working today. They'll head out there tomorrow and I'll get a report. I haven't been able to take the time to go out there myself. We're so busy. Yesterday again, full parties. Today, full parties. Okay, so that's 1 batch out of 5. Keep it up. So, good stuff. Aoyama-san's coming in later today, and we're going to take a look at the shop downstairs with a view to thinking about how we can better flood-proof it. You know, the assumption is this building will be flooded, we know. And we're assuming that it will be flooded to whatever, up to the first floor. So that's our shop, that's where all the prints are for sale, things like this. So now that we've had to face this question, there is going to be a flood here at some point. What we're going to try and do is you know, as we're renovating the shop over the next few years or whatever, we've got the print storage rack, the records are in there. We're going to do this in removable sections so that the idea, if there is a flood or when there's a flood, we can get that stuff out of there without having to dig one by one, one by one, one by one. Have things packaged and stored in removable sections. And that's what we should have done last year when we built the shop, obviously, but we're thinking about a lot of things. So. But clearly there are going to be more typhoons, there are going to be bigger typhoons, and there are going to be more floods. So if we don't do anything about it, we'll lose our shop one day. Okay, it's going better now. I've got the hang of it now. This is going better. There's still a front and a back to this though, you know. Actually, even though it's been pressed so tightly, the back surface and the front surface are still slightly different. No, I'm not trying to show you the paper. I'm looking. I'm checking myself. Which is the back? That's the back. That's the front. I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to show you anything. Excuse me. I'm holding it up to the light there to find out which is which. Sorry. I don't know if there's anything you can see yourself. Hang on a sec. Let's try it with this next group. No, I've been consistent with this. They went on here face down. So I'm picking it up to the light here to check. Yep, that's the back side, that's the front side, check. I don't really think it's going to be visible. There's no, you know, it's just from the camera there, it's a piece of white paper, I'm sorry. So face down again, because I haven't forgotten. Face up. Yeah, top face. So it's not face down in the pack here, face down. So they're all the same way. Confirm again. Yeah, that's now face down. So in it goes here, face down. What's the weight of the paper? I don't have the slightest idea. I'm sorry. I should be a bit more hip to this, but I just don't. I haven't learned those measurements. When I speak to our paper makers, Iwano-san, we're talking about samples here. I want it like this. The thing is, they are so inconsistent. You know, if I order hachimome, it just doesn't come. They're all different inside. There's really no point to it. If we pretend to be scientific about it, it just doesn't get scientific, so I don't bother. Even this batch of paper that we've got here today, when I was cutting it the other day, there was so much variation in thickness and weight. So I'm sorry not to be knowledgeable there. I don't know. Whatever, it's a medium weight paper. Someone's asking moist or dry. We do calendar it both ways. This paper has already been calendared once when it was dry under a very high pressure. Now it's being calendared the second time under a much lighter pressure. Just to get it perfect. I don't know, those, you're asking about the paper weight and stuff. I don't know, just look at some of our prints. I don't know what to say. If you got some of our prints, take a look at them, you know. For print like this, fluffy paper is a disaster. We need paper that has as smooth a top surface as possible. It's not so much a question about the thickness, although that's important to us. The front surface of the paper. When we get it from the paper maker, the front surface is really, really, unfortunately, still quite rough. In the old days, in a perfect world, they dried the paper on drying boards that were perfectly smooth. In the world we live in, they don't. The drying boards gradually they absorb water, dry, absorb water, dry. The top surface of the drying boards gets rougher and rougher and rougher. When it gets too rough to bear, the paper maker calls in a guy with a plane and they plane them smooth again. But of course they get thinner. So he doesn't want to do that. They're very, 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 very expensive. So the upshot is we end up getting most of our paper, it's been dried on boards that have quite a rough top surface. Just, we can't complain about it, that's just the way it is. So in all of our delicate work, we don't have to do this for all of our work, but when the work is delicate and has lots of fine lines in it, we need to make sure the paper has a smooth front surface. The way that it should ideally come from the paper maker, but just doesn't because of practical reasons. So we calendar it ourselves. I hear footsteps. What's happening? 8:30. Who's here? 8:30. 8:30.
Hello.
Oh, it's Cameron time. Of course. Soko. I forgot about you.
Monday.
Yeah. I just you're out off the radar recently.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Whatever.
You have radar? Any news from Oman?
No idea. I
idea.
haven't get out there. There's been, City Hall hasn't mentioned any landslides and stuff.
Okay.
So the damage, of course, could be if a window popped.
Yeah.
And we've got a flood inside. I don't know. No idea. There's nobody up there today because it's holiday.
Yeah. That's weird.
Nothing I can say. It was right bang on the track. Yeah, exactly. So.
Man, those rivers were high. Mm-hmm. I'm now riding the train over the Tonegawa.
Yeah.
There are big, what are they, river blocks, like extra really tall banks on each side, and then a bunch of rice fields on the sides outside of that. All those rice fields were flooded over beyond the water breaks or the, I don't know.
You understand, of course, that we here, right here, are in...
At sea level, basically.
Yeah, whatever, same kind of zone. This is a swamp,
Yeah.
And this is, we should have really thought about this. When we built the shop a year ago, when we built all those browser bins to handle the prints, we should have made them with pull-up sections.
Yeah.
So we can just pull up each group of prints, take it upstairs, pull up the next group, take it upstairs.
Yeah.
It would have been double construction, but it means we could evacuate that shop in minutes.
Yeah.
As it is now. When I was here, well, which was the camera? I don't know. When it was getting tight that night.
Yeah.
And we saw that there was floods.
Yeah.
Dave, what do we do? So I got everything off the floor.
Oh, yeah.
I brought everything, put it on top of the counter, everything that was a print or a
Yeah.
block or piece of wood or stuff like that. And I put them on the counters.
Oh, wow.
And nothing happened. There was almost no rain here, no wind, whatever.
Yeah.
But, and then I put it all back in the morning.
Got lucky in this neighborhood. But
Yeah.
other areas were not so fortunate.
Yeah. This is the second calendaring. I calendared it once when it was dry,
Okay.
and I'm doing it again. I'm just light pressure now. I'm just trying to get that final kiss.
I thought fluffy paper would be better. Depends on the print you're doing. You like it a little thicker, you like it more calendared for different types of prints, right?
I don't know if that print with the bird feathers and stuff. If it's a fluffy paper, it shows lots of embossing. You know, but a print like this, where the key is the detail.
Yeah.
The detail. If it's too fluffy, you can't get the detail when you're printing it. So, we're on that thing now.
Yeah, you're right.
So I don't know if we can turn this without a disaster. It's up to you if you want to try and.
Get down and get a few orders in. It wasn't too busy over the weekend.
No, not at all. And a couple of Kashiwagi-san supposedly is coming this morning.
Right.
I said, get back, whatever. Yes, we missed 2 sales yesterday. 2 people came in looking for it.
Yeah.
He just, wow. So anyway, his email to me or somebody said that he's going to be over here this morning. So we're talking about the Ginza print, the Ginza in rain print, which looks like it's going to go ballistic, ballistic. 2 people over the weekend. No, 2 people yesterday. Sorry.
And another online order for it. Maybe one of the people said,
Was there?
"Oh, if I can't get it in the shop, I can get it online."
What, last night, you mean?
Yep.
I didn't look at
I
it.
saw it on the train. Because today's a holiday, so the trains were empty.
Of course. Good. Yeah, the authorities are happy about that, of course. Yeah. Yamamoto-san was here. Was it Friday afternoon when you were still here?
Yes, I saw him briefly when he came in. I didn't see what was he talking about. He handed over a batch of paper.
Yeah, he came and talked about that. So, but we also talked about the laser print thing, and I showed him Kashiwagi-san's email.
Yeah.
Like, what's the meaning here? What is he trying to tell us? And, that kind of stuff. So Yamamoto-san said he's going to go and talk to him.
Okay.
He thinks Kashiwagi-san is just worried about talking about the fact it's made by lasers. He wants to kind of hide it.
Huh.
And I'm like, if that's the thing, then we're out of it. Because there's no way. I'm not going to participate anyway if that's their game.
Yeah. I think it's a cool thing. We can be open about it. It's an interesting piece of technology.
So he's coming this morning. So I assume he's coming this morning.
Yeah.
So we can chat in quotation marks about that. Bit too. Maybe that was a bit too wet. That one.
Calendar too much.
Yeah, a bit too squeezed. It was a bit too wet. Some of these are a bit moist. And there's a bit too much water in there, actually. We'll put that one back on again. Let's see.
Quitting says, in the press release that I read, the news about the laser cutting was quite evident. So.
Press release in Japanese or in what we put out? What did we talk about? Because when he sent us that 2 links the other day, the first link didn't mention it at all.
Yeah, and one mentioned it in one small paragraph,
Yeah.
3/4 of the way down. Or something. An English one. Okay.
Which is in English. There's more English information somewhere.
A blog that one of his friends runs, Tamago and Spoon or something.
Oh yeah.
like that.
Okay, they're in there. Yeah. Spoon and Tango.
Yeah, that's what I got it.
Yeah, we're in there all the time. They feature our stuff quite a lot.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Oh, now and then, whatever. They probably picked that from us to show.
Yeah. The Kashiwagi-san stuff? No, I think he's a friend of Tsuchimochi Shin.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So, the person who runs it.
Oh yeah, they show his illustration work frequently. Okay, I get it. Okay, about the software, a couple of updates on the software. The tracking thing. Ome doesn't really know about this yet, but you and I talked about this the other day.
Right.
She can now include tracking numbers.
Okay.
But they should come in orders. In other words, she's got our address label, beat the tracking number, our address label, beat the tracking, our address,
Right.
our address, beat the tracking.
Yeah.
Because it's, anytime it sees a tracking number, it has no way to know which package it's associated with, so it just assumes that it's the package that was just done, so.
Yeah.
And it's in testing mode right now. It doesn't send the tracking number to the person, it sends it to you,
Yeah. Okay.
which is fine. So you can just read the tracking number and then use the manual way to do it.
Yeah.
And then once we've seen it, okay, we can turn it on.
Got it.
So it's turned on, but the address is not the customer address, it's your address. So.
Okay.
And then we haven't changed, Shigami-san is going to need address labels for every single package, right, to do that. We talked about have the address
Yes.
label peek out.
Yeah.
And that's not turned on yet, so we'll have a look at it today if that's the...
Queen Young says in that Spoon and Tamago post. So what's puzzling though is that they mention a first edition of 50.
Well, it's not an edition, it's a first printing batch. They need
Yeah.
50 in the first batch. Don't confuse editions here.
Well, maybe they wrote edition on
Well,
the
then they
English
better
page
sort them out.
that-
They put that on the list to talk to them today. Do not use the word edition. That's on all false. This is on all,
Yeah.
what's the word?
So what they've told
blah.
us is they're going to keep printing as
Of
long
course.
as the blocks work.
Of course, this is a Japanese print. There are no edition numbers on the print whatsoever.
Yeah.
This is not limited whatsoever. So if they're using the word edition, that's false pretenses. It's on all, whatever. What's the word?
It's not
Lying.
right.
Yeah, not right. So.
I think I'll get out of the way.
Yeah.
So you've got a
Yep, nothing you
good
can
setup
do
for
here.
you.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, the reason I don't want them to use the word edition is because in general parlance, edition means an edition, then you destroy the blocks and that's all the prints that are made, of course. All the artist stuff they do. We're going to have an edition of 100, and then the implication is there are no more. In our world, it's totally different. I do not want him using the word edition. The second printing batch, if we do our job properly, if Yamamoto-san does the job right, the second batch will be identical to the first batch. There'll be no color changes or this or that. These are not editions in any way. And all the other publishers in town who are doing those things like the Star Wars prints and Doraemon prints and stuff, they're all trying to play the limited edition game, calling it there's only going to be 100. And it's an absolute lie. They finish 100, then they print some more and print some more. each print is an original. No, that's totally the opposite of what we are trying to do here. Even though we make these things by hand, we rub paper on the back of each sheet of paper. Our ethic is not to make them different. Our ethic is to make them as similar as we possibly can. For us, difference between prints is a mark of failure. Yeah, I think what we've got here is a failure to communicate. Miyakodori's online shop, the first edition of which only 50 are made. If that's the English, then they're just sort of mistranslating and misunderstanding. We've had the guy here, he's coming this morning to talk to us. It's the first batch of 50. I said, how many are in the first run? He said, we've run 50. Are you ready to do more? Yes, when they're gone, we'll do more, we'll do more, we'll do more. In his mind, he is not thinking limited edition at all. Neither are we. So this is a bad... If that's his online shop, then we've got to tell him to change that language, because that is misleading. The first batch is 50. They're already scheduling the next batch based on what we've sold. We've sold, I think, 11 or so already. I don't know. Cameron's got the number overnight. He said more orders came in, it said. Cameron Sound, there's another bit of news here. Have a look at this, please. Sorry to bug you, but look at this. And we've really got to talk to him this morning. You know, somebody's quoting the Spoon and Tamago website, or no, they're quoting the Miyakodori online shop. Look at this.
Oh, they have their own separate software?
Look. The first edition, of which only 50 are made, is priced at blah, blah, blah. They're using the wrong language.
Yeah.
We asked him, the first batch, he said, yeah, we're going to make 50 from Ramo to San, then we'll make more.
Yeah.
So absolutely, when he's here this morning, either we got to rewrite it for him or help him with it or whatever.
Yeah. Huh. Okay.
So can you look that up? Then the person who's quoting here, Miyakodori's online shop, is that an English page or is that the Google translation or something? Where did you get this, please? So let's keep on top of this. Yeah. That doesn't look like the Spoon and Tamago page. He said Miyakodori online, it says there.
Miyakodori.booth.pm.
In English?
Interesting.
PM, what's PM?
Never heard of Prime Minister. No.
Content Management System? It's not WordPress, WP or something.
Yeah.
PM.
Yeah.
Pro module? I mean, what have they done? How are they writing their website?
I have no idea. Okay, we'll talk to him today.
Okay, thanks, yeah. Okay, thanks for the heads up. Okay, thank you. Our own website, I hope, is clear. I don't really know. What did I write on my own shop? I wasn't thinking of any confusion, so I don't think I mentioned numbers at all. Well, this is thin paper now. Who told me this is thin paper? The girls are just going to go nuts when they saw this. What group are we on? How many groups have I done? 50? 1, 2, 3. Okay, 2 more groups. So there's 5 groups here. I've done 3. So I got 2 left. So it looks like it's going to be a pretty short stream today. I got 2 more groups left, so we finished at around 9:10 or so. Why on earth? On that PM site, doesn't it say wood block prints? These are wood block prints, of course. What's this all hasui shinsui shin hanga hadi hanga this? That's not true, I'm sorry. Shin hanga prints from the very beginning have been open editions. There are very few of them that were published in groups, in closed groups. Watanabe's working on their hasui blocks still, rubbing them again and again and again and again and again. As to why I myself personally dislike limited edition prints, it's easy. I'm a printer. We're in the printing business. We're not in the art business. We're in the printing business. We're a printing company. The idea of limited editions destroys the whole what's it called? The destroys what we're here to do. We're here to make beautiful objects. We're not here to make expensive objects. We're not here to make, what's the word, investments. The wood blocks that we make prints from will survive many, many hundreds of copies, thousands in some cases. The only possible reason to limit production is to make an artificial scarcity, and that's something we do not want to participate in. Shiba-san, I think at the moment, she said, she was chatting with someone in the shop yesterday, overheard it. She's now working on her next design. She's carving it. It's going to be smaller in scale than the last couple she's done. You know, there's a spider print and stuff like that. This next one's going to be physically smaller. It's going to be about the same size as the first one she made, the one with the 3 monkeys, you know, the no see, no tell, no hear, whatever. And I understand that it's going to be ninja themed, but not ninja themed in the classical, the Western image of a ninja crouching and sword and black clothes and stuff like that. I don't have a full report on it, but she's trying to go back to the concept of what a ninja was, rather than this invisible assassin idea. I don't have much more knowledge about it than that. She's carving it now, so there must be some kind of image concept must be clear in her mind. And I don't really know much more than that. There would be much more of Shiba-san's progression if she would let us print her existing designs, but that was a disaster. We tried. We pulled a batch of them. She rejected them all, so that's it. I'm out of that game with her. So she's on her own now. It's a hobby for her now. She's going to mix making new ones and old ones. Instead of handing them over to professionals for printing, she's just going to do it by herself. So it's going to be a hobby thing. She just didn't want to let go. And we made prints that I think were far better than the ones she was making, but perhaps they were too much better, and she let go. She just doesn't want us to see those. So that's it for her. She will do occasional runs of her previous editions, previous batches. It's too bad, because it could have been wonderful publishing those prints. Could have been wonderful, but she just will not let go. Whatever, we have a disagreement. We have a lot of Shin-Hunger prints here in my own collection and Doi-san's collection, and I have almost nothing that is numbered, if anything, that is numbered. Some American customers bought them in batches and numbered them. I think there was a bunch of those together with a Toledo exhibition because they were trying to make it look exclusive. Ooh, we got a brush here, excuse me.
we're talking about saying the Shinhanga and the tradition. The point about the Shinhanga prints, what Watanabe-san spokenly, openly said he was trying to do, was and when Meiji came, the ukiyo-e died, and it split into two categories. The Sosaku guys, the ones who were making the creative prints all by themselves, they of course did editions of 5 or 10 or 15 or 20 or whatever. Now Watanabe-san's, Shozaburo Watanabe, his spoken idea was to try and keep the concept of Japanese printmaking as the quartet, the publisher, designer, carver, printer. He wanted to keep that team together and yet make newer stuff. So they did. And their customers were, for the most part, the Westerners, tourists in Japan at that time. There was tourism here coming by boat. The ships that came from San Francisco or Seattle, docked at Yokohama, Kobe, whatever, Nagasaki, blah, blah, blah. And those were his customers. And there was an endless stream of them. The point I'm trying to make is that he wanted to do this in the tradition of making prints with the team, the publishing team, not as single individual art objects. This must be Suga-san. 今日も雨なんで3階まで上がらないから。今日も雨やった。Good morning, Suga-san. Hello. Say hello. Here you are. This is Suga-san here.
おはようございます。って言ってる。
そうだからまだ吸ってないですよ。だから今日これから土日の間にもうめっちゃ
忙しかった。
そう忙しかったんですけど何もないです。だから今日スタッフ多いです。渡辺さんじゃなくて渡林さん。次は渡辺さんそうね。渡林さん、河合さん、中村さんも来る。だからそうだからベテラン3人です。だから I'm free. So I'm going to do this morning.
やった。イエス。よかった。あれ今日石川さん来ました？
これかお昼から来る。夕方からどっちかわからない。Okay, last group of 50 here. Oops. How did the double party go on Saturday? Chaos. Absolute fun. Screamingly laughable fun. But when it was over, I just like... What was more fun was the day before we had another party. It was a group of English rugby fans. And one of them, a younger guy, knows about our work from YouTube and Twitch, whatever. Maybe he's watching this morning, I don't know. But there was no game on that day, so he brought his family. It was like his uncle and the uncle's wife and blah, 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 and all the different family members, none of whom really knew anything about us. I guess the young man had said, trust me, it'll be okay. What are we going to do? We're going to make woodblock prints. We're going to do what? Anyway, he said, trust me, and they came. And we had a ton of fun, an absolute ton of fun. Most people do, you know. Some of them they come, what's the word? Not under duress. That's a bit too much of a difficult expression. The lady of the house will find the art project and book it, and the husband doesn't really want to be here. Like, what do you mean make woodblock prints? And, you know, what have you been smoking or whatever? But she brings him along, and the guy will stand there like his face says, I'm here because my wife told me to be here, but I don't want to be here. We get this sometimes, you know. And it always ends up okay, because we keep it lighthearted, we keep it fun, we don't embarrass anybody. Their main fear, you know, these bigger guys, their main fear is that they will be asked to draw flowers and look silly and we'll laugh at them and stuff like that. And of course we don't do that. The whole point of the idea is to enjoy making these prints, and everybody can do it. Especially these big guys, of course, they can do it easily once they know what's going on. So the parties always end up okay, but the first few minutes is sometimes a little bit touch and go. Because these people are like, you know, they don't say anything, but they clearly do not want to be here. So it's fine. We know what to do. We know what to do. And because they have low expectations, because they, you know, came in on a negative viewpoint, when it does turn out that they have fun, of course, it's just bonus, bonus, bonus. So we can't lose, you know. But some of the Brits sometimes surprise me. That group I mentioned, the 6 people that did it, the people that are here to watch rugby and their young son had booked it. Sometimes they surprise me. The way they treat each other, the guy and his wife, the way things they say to each other, sometimes shocks me, you know. Each culture has its own rules about what you say to people and how you treat people and what sounds polite and what doesn't sound polite. And some of the things that Brits say to each other, my God, I'm like, and yet, yeah, whatever, she will just laugh or whatever, and I'm not going to give an example. I'm not in public, but whatever. Whatever. Okay, almost done here. Another couple of minutes, then we're out. So. Rugby game, of course, was last night, and the place where I'm staying here in our shop, we're 20, 30 meters away, not even that, 10, 20 meters away from one of Tokyo's major bar streets. And of course, they all had TV sets up, and the customers were ready. And I myself, so I had work to do in my room there, lots of programming work, so I wasn't really watching the game. I don't have a TV here anyway. But after the game started, a few minutes later, there's a roar from the crowd up on the street there, and a sustained roar, and then another roar. So I'm like, okay, I got to do this. So I tuned into the BBC website to keep track of it, and quite a game. I don't know anything about rugby, how it's played, what it is. So all I know is all I can see is the scoreboard and things like this. But the town was going nuts last night, absolutely nuts. And the party can't last forever. They've won 6 in a row in World Cups now, but they would have to win 4 more straight to get the World Cup itself, and whatever. Again, I don't know rugby, so I can't speak, but just as a person of general knowledge on things, it looks difficult, but incredible, absolutely incredible. Earlier in the day, when they were still trying to decide should we do the game or not play the game, and the various people from Scotland were threatening, if you cancel this game, we are going straight to court, And when we heard that news, we meaning people who live here, when we heard that news, we thought, boy, you guys, there's dozens of people dead out there. The police and all the authorities are doing what they can to get people out of their homes. The worst typhoon in living memory, longer than living memory. And you're going to whine to us that we're not going to play a game. And if it had gone that way, this country would have never, ever spoken to Scotland again, period. If that's what had happened. Tourism to Scotland would drop to minus forever and ever and ever. People dying out there, and those guys want to play a game, So to me, what happened? Those kids, the Japanese kids that went out there, I can get it, just destroyed them. Okay, here we are, really in here. One more sheet, come on. Oh. Okay, last 2 sheets going through. Yeah, I mean, I'm not part of this. I don't know rugby at all. I know nothing about the game. But at the moment, the general feeling of the Japanese people towards the Scottish people is really not so cool. Sorry about that. I don't know. 今ちょっとプレスしてばっかりですから、少なくとも1時間ぐらい待った方がいいかなとか。
ああ、それね。
それから場所わからない。可愛さもやりたい今夜。レイちゃんも来る、石川さんも来る、すぐさんやりますから。だからファビオラさんの机でやるかなとか。
ああ、そうね。そうだ。そうだ。そっか。
I gotta remember always, I forgot once, you've got to unloosen this thing, of course, otherwise it's pressed on the felt and you've destroyed your felt. So open it. Okay, here we are. Okay, what's the plan? It's Monday morning now, 9:15. I'm done this work here. The kids are in the shop today. I won't be going down there at all, I don't think. If there's special visitors who want to come and see, the kid's going to send them upstairs to see me up here. I am now going to start printing. On Tuesday, the shop is closed. So I've got 2 days to get this done. I'm going to be disturbed. On Tuesday afternoon, we have a meeting with the accountants. It's the final setup for our incorporation. We're changing Mocha Hong Kong into a company. We're incorporating before the end of the year. And the plan is, as of January 1st, I will be an employee of the place. I still run it, of course, but I'm talking about the legal structure. So it's going to be a company. The income that comes in will no longer be my income, and I will be an employee. And we're, whatever, it's going to be like $1 a year, whatever. And essentially, the way we're going to do this, I'm going to take the minimum legally required salary. And when you're a company president, which I will be, you can't work for free. So there will be a minimum something, so I'll get $100 a month or something in the end, whatever it is. And then my main income will be a number of different things. I'm going to be paid a royalty on the blocks that I've carved. So when one of Jed's rickshaw cart prints sells, I get a royalty because I'm the guy who carved the blocks. When Great Wave sells, I'll get a royalty. When this print sells, I'll get a royalty from carving the blocks. So I would become paid as a carver here at Mocha Hong Kong. And like I said, the $1 a year, whatever is allowed as company president. Then I will also get, I'll get rent. I'm going to keep the Ome house for myself. It won't belong to the company. So I'll be receiving rent from Mocha Hong Kong for that. And in return, of course, I have to make sure I fix it, and if there's any leaks and stuff like that, it becomes my responsibility. So my income is going to be those sources. So I have no idea how much I'm going to make each year, whatever. If I keep carving, and if the box stays in good condition, that will be my income and my pension for the rest of my life, actually. I have no pension. I never joined a pension plan when I was younger, moved to different countries. So it's a factor. What will my income be starting next January? We'll see. We'll work it out. Whatever. We had a ton of paperwork. Oh my God, a ton of paperwork. But we have no choice. The income here now is just too much for a single person. Because our income is large, I'm taxed as an individual. My health insurance goes up. Everything else goes up. But from next year, the income will be the company's income. They will pay corporate taxes on it, but it won't affect my personal things like health insurance and my own taxes. So anyway, we'll see. It's a change that we should have made years ago. Okay, so that's Tuesday, the final meeting with the accountants before we pull the trigger and go ahead and file all the paperwork before coming to companies. That's Tuesday's decision. Yeah, John's saying, maybe I said that. So. When I said pension, I meant in a vague, cloudy sort of sense, but now it's becoming an actual thing. The blocks counting. I get 8% of retail price as the carver. It's the same as our carvers now, Kawasaki-san. She gets 8% of retail for every print that's sold, and I will be getting the same thing. For all of my Surimono album prints, the subscription prints that I carved, the Heroes prints. So hopefully I'll be doing okay. Ken. Okay, I gotta get out of here. There is a ton of work waiting for me. This hasn't been interesting. I'm sorry about that, but whatever. It is what it is. The next stream scheduled should be Thursday, and at this point, I have no idea what I'll be doing on Thursday. I won't be taking these prints to the end. I'm going to be doing the head, the key block on the head, and passing over to the girls. So come Thursday, I should be back down at my printing bench, and it's possible I'll be carving the first print of next year's series. Or if that preparation isn't ready, I'll just be nibbling away at the octopus print. Or I'll be doing something else. No idea. Signing out. Thanks very much for watching, guys. See you downstairs in a few more days. Over and out.